Good morning, all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from and your time zone. I say welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you for always joining me and thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for taking out time to watch this video because you never can tell who it's going to help. Where did I stop yesterday? I would have to continue from where I stopped yesterday. I think I stopped where I had biopsy and I was sent for more tests to ascertain how I would be treated. So, like I said yesterday, after I had the biopsy done, I was sent for more tests and I was to go for blood tests and a whole lot. So I did that. Sorry, my little girl is trying to appear, but I don't want her. Maria, could you go upstairs, please? I'll call you back later, okay, darling? All right, I'll see you soon. I'm so sorry about that. Pardon me. You know, kids. Oh, now I forgot what I was saying. Okay, like I was saying, Maria just got in my head. So I had all my tests done, and as at the time I went through all the tests and all the procedures I needed to do, it was now 1 year. It was around, my baby was going to be 1. So I was scheduled for an operation to take out my right lobe. That's my right thyroid gland. You know, there are two, like I said. It's like a butterfly. One on the right side, one on the left side. So it was the right that was being enlarged. So I was scheduled to remove the right lobe. So I remember that year, 2009. It's 1 year. I'll never forget all my life. I was scheduled to do the operation January, but I had to tell my doctors that I didn't want it done in January because my daughter was going to turn 1 year old on the 14th of January. So I wanted her birthday to come and go before I went through any procedure, you know, African mind, African thinking. So that was it. My baby turned 1 and I was booked in hospital for the operation. I went for the operation and I had the right lobe removed and I got discharged. I think a week later I went back home and I still had clips on. I was supposed to go back a week later to get the clips out, so I took the clips home with me. I went home with the clips in my neck, you know, and there was a bandage there. When I got home, 3 days later, I got a call, and it was a very bad call. That's where my story started. I got a call that the lobe that was removed was taken for research, and it was discovered that it was cancerous. So I had to come back the next week for a second operation to take out the other lobe. But the problem now is they did not bother checking that left lobe before taking it out. But because this was found to be cancerous, I was just booked right back in for the next week to take the left out. I went back in And lo and behold, it was taken out. Here comes my trauma. After I had that operation, I think it took about 4 to 6 hours or thereabout, I don't know. When I got back to the ward, I was very uncomfortable. I couldn't breathe properly. I felt very heavy. And I said to my husband, well, I don't feel well. And he said, what is it? I said, I feel very heavy and like I'm forcing myself to breathe, I am not breathing normally, like. And he said, okay, he called the nurse and he told the nurse my complaint. And the nurse said, oh, it's just trauma, she had an operation last week and she's going through the same thing this week. So it's just trauma. I knew this wasn't trauma because I had the same operation last week. I didn't feel like this when I came back to the ward. I was okay. I felt light, not as heavy as I felt like a stone. I could not lift I just felt very heavy. So I think my husband called the nurse 2-3 times before he went home that night. He went home around 9:30. And because I was afraid, it was a ward with 4 people. There was a woman from outside Dublin that came. She was supposed to have the same operation the next day. So she was asking me, we're talking. And because I was afraid, the way I was feeling, I didn't want to cover my cubicle to sleep. I was chatting with this woman. I couldn't chat much, but she was doing the chatting and I was nodding. The only thing I told her is, I don't feel right and I can't breathe properly. So while we're talking, I passed out. My eyes, according to the woman, she said my eyes just turned white. And that was it. That was all I could remember. I could hear them. I could hear her shouting, nurse, nurse, nurse. I could hear people running up and down. But it seemed like from a distance, felt like you're somewhere and you can hear people talking from far away. That was how it felt. So I think I was taken with the bed, because it's the theater bed anyway. I was taken with the bed back. I was taken back to the theater. So on the way back to the theater, the nurse called the doctor. I could hear everything they were saying, but I was just not conscious. Called the doctor and the doctor said he was on break and he had left the hospital, but he was within the area. And he said they should call the student doctor. And the student doctor said, and the doctor told the student doctor to open the stitch. But the student doctor said she was afraid. She had never done it before. And because it wasn't her that did the stitch, she didn't feel comfortable doing it. Luckily, before the operation, this, what do you call them? I think they call them anesthetic. The people that give anesthetics before operation. The guy that gave me the anesthetic he did medicine up to 3rd level before he stopped and switched. So we're gisting before the operation, before he put me to sleep. We're kind of gisting now, got acquainted. He made me laugh and, I remember telling him, my baby's just one. If anything happens to me, she won't remember my face, and we laughed about it. So while I was being rolled back to the theater, they met him on the corridor and I could hear him asking, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? She just had an operation this evening. And they said, yes, the doctor wants the stitches removed, but the student doctor says she can't do it. And the guy said they had the, what do you call it now? How doctors here, how the medical system here is. They already had the pack with the blade and everything sterilized on me there, on my body there. So the guy stopped them, opened the pack, took the blade. The last thing I remember was I felt like warm water was poured on me and I couldn't hear anything anymore. I just felt like warm water was poured all over my body, and that was it. I couldn't hear anything anymore. I couldn't hear people talking. I was just gone. So they took me to the theater, did the correctional operation. Apparently, while they did that thyroid thing, a blood vessel was punctured or something. I don't know. I can't remember how they explained it now. And I was bleeding in. So I was bleeding in. That was why I felt that heaviness and having problem to breathe, you know. So that was it. I was in ICU for days. I can't remember how many days now. I was unconscious. But eventually, I came back to life. And I remember, I remember my husband standing over me and talking to me. This is when I came back now, you know. I remember him saying things like, Franca, oh, the Joe, oh, the man, oh, the man, how did he say it? Franca, oh, the Joe, the man, mini, olori buruku, you know. Omodumelo niwa, you know. He was saying things like that. Just shanu me. And he was praying. So I'm sorry, I'm so sorry about this. I'm just getting unnecessarily emotional. So he was just talking to me, and that was how I came back, you know. So don't mind me, I'm always unnecessarily emotional. So I'm no more the hard babe I used to be. So that was it. That was how I came back. And then we've actually passed 10 minutes, so I will continue from here tomorrow. I'm so sorry, bear with me. You see, it's not easy to talk. I have passed 10 minutes and my target is usually 10 minutes per day. So what will happen is tomorrow we'll start from when I came back to life after the operation. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I appreciate you so, so, so much. And I say, may God continue to protect and be with you all through your life. In Jesus' name. You see, in life, we never wish for evil, but sometimes evil come our way. But the truth is, the Lord will never give you a temptation that you cannot overcome, as long as you have faith in Him. That is just my little message for today. Thank you so much. Have a lovely and blessed day. And we'll come back tomorrow for the continuation. So tomorrow I start from when I woke up in ICU in the hospital after the second time, after the thyroidectomy. Because now it's thyroidectomy because I don't have thyroid glands anymore. Thank you and have a blessed day. And please don't forget to share this video after watching. Share it, let it go around, let it reach people that need to learn so they know. Because a lot of people are dying from thyroid problems and they don't know it. So let us share so that people will see it and it will help one or two people. Even if it's just one person, it helps. It goes a long way. One life is a lot. Okay? Thank you guys. Bye. Have a lovely day. I love you. Bye-bye.